We challenge short film conventions and certain genres by being original with the old lady being played by a young actor. We challenged it by the quirky costumes, and this kind of unique aspect to our film was different.
We use music to change the contrast of the situation. So, for example, when he's walking into, Joshua Smith is walking into the dentistry, you can hear kind of a nice, like, jazzy music, which symbolises he's the right going in there. And then as soon as he starts becoming uncomfortable, the music very drastically changes.
The music, so we had the kind of dark kind of music showing Joshua moving up the stairs, and although it's a very simple concept of him going upstairs and going to the dentist, the darker music made it seem mysterious and slightly adventurous and a bit horror-like. It was just the change. It was the contrast between the music and what was actually happening made it comedic.
We used a bricolage of genres, which was horror, which we've showed through our music and style and that, because it was quite scary and intense at points. Also, we had comedy and adventure, because it was quite weird, strange characters. And further on, there was conventions of that we left our film open-ended, which is usually what happens in short films because there's not enough time to end it and carry on the story. Also, our story is fast-paced, just like most short films, and that was the conventions we followed.
Hello there, are you feeling better? Okay, what we did when it comes to what conventions do we use, so we follow the short film narrative. For example, that we use the use of costumes and characters to create this bricolage of genres.
We used comedy conventions, which involved slightly bizarre costumes, which we got our ideas from the Mighty Boosh and Oscar's Hotel. Their sort of style of comedy isn't like amusing where like you get an action and reaction, and that's what we find funny. It's more of where you get the style of it and how the characters are that's funny. So like the costumes that we had were like, we had a male actor and he'd be dressed quite feminine, which was quite like different and funny. He'd be wearing like things like lipstick and stuff like that, which isn't conventional in a way.
And we did do our own unique thing, whilst many films use a kind of set in the script kind of madness or some kind of way of scripting the comedy, whilst we did it so that it looks so bizarre that it gets a reaction out of the audience.
We used a number of different editing techniques in terms of colour correction and different transitions to show Joshua going into this different like dreamlike state and trance. And these kind of represented the comedic and the kind of mysterious genre that we were following, which all linked into the short film kind of genre that we follow in terms of following the conventions of a short film.
What's about your blog was like a real media product?
Basically, for our blog, we used it to show the process we went through for creating our short film. We also used it to distribute and market our blog so more people would know about it, because the internet's quite a big thing these days. So that's where we see all the things for short films, and it's a great way of getting it out there for people to see. It also made fans able to keep track of how we went through the process of doing our short film.
So Harry, how effective is our magazine review?
Our magazine review is used for our readers, so the readers can read it, they get an insight on the film, they can look at it and they'll find different things out about it, they'll have an extra section to the actual film so they can watch it from there.
Brilliant.
Joshua, why do we have a poster and how effective is it?
What it does is give us a inside view, well, not us, the audience, an inside view, and then gives like a more of a snippet of what's going to happen. Also, you normally have awards that we may have won, or any kind of short film festivals we've made being featured. Again, just give the audience a broader idea of what our short film will be involved in.
The answer to that question is that each ancillary text altogether allows us to keep a common theme throughout the creation of our film, and it helps us keep the genre all the same. So, for example, we have the same fonts for the titles, and we have the same font for Hyperproduction title, and we use the same comedy genre throughout.
It links it all together to create our production and our logo, and things such as our ancillary text and our poster and stuff like that, they all
come under this one brand and one company.
I really liked it. I thought the dialogue was really well written, and the music worked really well as well.
Yeah, I liked how it was like different colours when he was sort of like dreaming. It was nice. Yeah.
I like the use of audio when the sort of clips change and when it sort of goes into the more vibrant colours as it gets a bit like dystopian.
The use of the music was pretty good, and the transitions between the clips were pretty smooth as well.
This year, to improve sound, we used Marantz instead of the camera sound that we used last year. Also, for the cameras, we went from a HCV to the 700D Canons to film our short film. This improved quality and made it a lot more better to watch.
We define media technology in terms of it is a piece of equipment or something that has transferable data.
We use blogging sites such as WordPress to keep an account of our progress to create media archives which reflects our product and our final product that we were going to use.
We also use Google Drive to store our production group, so any kind of backups or any kind of footage, we use that to store and archive.
We also use Adobe Creative Cloud. We use Premiere Pro to edit the film, Audition to edit the audio for the film, SpeedGrade for colour correction within the film, and InDesign to create a poster and magazine review for marketing. A lot of these programs, because they're all part of the Adobe Creative software, they could cross over. So we could take audio from Premiere as part of the film and put them on Audition, edit them, save them, and put them straight back into Premiere as they were. This also goes for SpeedGrade and Premiere. We could take the clips out of Premiere, put them into SpeedGrade, adjust the colour, and then put them back into Premiere. This is an example of media technology as it is transferable data.
We use different codecs this year. So this year we used H.264, which is .mp4. Last year we used .mov, which is a compressed version, meaning that we would lose quality. So with H.264 we could shoot in ProRes and we could retain the sharpness and image quality that we had shooting from the 700Ds.